Congratulations,
would you
sir.
like to transition us to our first topic?
Yes, sir.
No, absolutely not. I will leave those transitions to the two of you.
Someone did watch this and they go, "You guys love the word transition."
Yeah.
All right, Ashley, we're waiting.
Oh, I was waiting for you. I was leaving room for,
I don't know. I don't know how you guys make the switch.
From starting a life together to something that may end many lives coming forward.
Oh, that was just
Yeah, no,
Just continue.
I like Bex
We're doing the
better.
down part.
just go straight. Just power through. Just power through.
All right.
So the Delta variant, obviously, COVID is coming back with a motherfucking vengeance. So,
Language.
Oh, we could have done a flight transition there. Delta?
Oh,
Delta variant.
yeah. No, there was a good way to do that transition.
I
Should
like
have
that.
Should've
gone
done
up the
better.
honeymoon.
Bex
Hey,
is
wait,
now
wait,
in
I-
charge
honeymoon,
of the
having to get
transition.
tested, and
I
Need a
used
new
Delta.
heights.
Delta was very, very comfortable, though it had its.
Was it comfortable
At least there's a
enough for
good
you to
version of
get a new variant of COVID?
No, not that comfortable.
Did that come with your
Although they
person
make it,
walking down
What?
the aisle? Did she offer
Although
it
they
to
make
you?
it-
They give you
they
goldfish.
make it possible. They
Oh
make
my
it
God, I have no
possible.
arm or leg. Oh my God. Oh my
Is that
God.
what the variant did to you?
Oh my
the
God.
Delta, so
I
the
got-
variant. So the
Oh, no.
Delta variant.
Darius brought my arm and my leg back when he started speaking. He is a
my
man of
God.
God. Oh wait, no.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry,
Oh,
he has
Alright.
sinned.
All right, circling back. So the Delta variant is now plaguing essentially the West Coast the most, but we're also seeing it a little bit on the East Coast as
Like
well.
that
We're seeing it
Well,
everywhere. We're seeing
Yes.
everywhere. It's the number one strain in America now, and
Yes,
the
about
southern states are
Boston
being
or whatever.
ravaged.
So as of this point, 57% of the eligible population are vaccinated. In terms of New York,
I thought it was 48 still.
nope. It's-
Last week it said 48. Did they go? It went up that much with the Delta in a week?
Yeah,
That's good.
that's what your source said.
But it's also
So,
meaning that some of
Oh.
those people that got sick died.
just letting you know, looking at your own sources, bruh.
I watched it, but I didn't pick up on that part. Last I heard was 48.6. But either way,
It
it's
said 57.1. So.
I'll take it. Shit.
As of New York, they're thinking about having the healthcare workers required to get vaccinated, or they will face daily COVID tests just to make sure everything's in order.
Didn't the mayor also suggest that for city workers as well, such as the teachers and the cops and the firefighters? I believe he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're starting to open it up to everyone because as of right now, the biggest concern is that about 23,000 children have gotten COVID as a result. So they are the ones that haven't gotten the vaccine. They're our biggest concern now. So if everyone else gets vaccinated, our children will be safe.
Well, also now
But
at
children
Pfizer.
can get this kind.
Yeah.
that's so. This is pretty much the children's version of.
Well, this is way more contagious and
Yes.
gets you like twice to 3 times as sick on average for those who actually get really sick.
Some
And when
people
you're
who
saying
have
about the
that-
oh,
Go ahead.
when you're saying about the vaccination, is this separate to what we've already been vaccinated with?
Well, yes, this
Kind
the
of, right?
vaccine was not made with the Delta
this one,
variant
yeah.
because it wasn't around yet. This really propped
yeah.
up
But-
in
now,
India.
now we have to go and do this.
But
all over
so
again.
far, Johnson
Not
and Johnson
necessarily.
and Moderna seem to be resistant, but Pfizer, after about 6 months, goes down to something like the high to mid 30 percentile range.
which is
for
why Pfizer
efficacy.
needs a boost.
Exactly.
I
So
have
it's-
Moderna. This sounds like
Yeah, I have Moderna as well. So there was a
Same.
case where someone who was actually vaccinated got the Delta strain, but they didn't feel the effects of Delta nowhere near as much as everyone else. So it's
Right.
kind of like how every single year we have to get the flu shot,
Mm-hmm.
and we may still get the flu, but it's not as bad as if we didn't get the shot. So
And then you have people who, the news is replete with people. I saw a story today. It's a 24-year-old guy who refused to take the vaccine, urged people not to get the vaccine, all these things, got extraordinarily sick, just got a double lung transplant, or he would have died. And I'm kind of like, and this is really the where we can go with this, and maybe I'm just an evil piece of shit, but I'm kind of like, if you were pushing people not to get it, you decide not to get it, you didn't give a shit about how it affected other people, you were believing QAnon, all these people, should
Probably
you
spreading
really, you were spreading it, should you really be getting organ transplants? I'm sorry.
Yes.
there's a lot of other people in this world who
Yes.
probably need it.
Yes, yes, you're
Yes.
supposed. Yes, you should.
If he's on
You
the
can't-
list,
Because
it's
you,
the
you
doctor's
never know.
job.
This situation right now, him getting that transplant may make him an advocate.
Well, it is. He
True
was
as
on the
well.
news saying it, but I'm sorry.
Is that the guy that was in the hospital and he was on the phone?
I mean, there's been a lot of those. I guess. I
We
don't know.
need people
I
like
saw the
that
story
to be
today.
like,
There,
oh,
there was
God,
another
help
guy
me.
on
I
in
fucked
the
Yeah.
up.
hospital
Yeah, we
bed,
do.
and they have a camera zoomed into him in the
There
room
may have
because
been,
he's
I
like
don't know.
quarantined.
No,
And
this
he's
guy was home
basically-
already. I think.
So the guy in the
know-
hospital was saying that he was totally against getting the vaccine, and he wishes he would have gotten it because he doesn't, obviously like how he's feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I got no sympathy for any of these fucking people. I really don't, because I got friends who I no longer have respect for who are like posting up like, this is my business, my body, my choice. I'm sorry, this is not an abortion. An abortion, it affects you and it affects the child, and we're not getting into that right now. I mean, I'm pro-choice, but like, this doesn't just affect you and another life within your body. This can impact every single person around you. And for them to be like, oh, stupid ass Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, you're violating my HIPAA rights, so she doesn't even know what the fuck that means. But other companies can't ask, they can't require, they can't this, they can't that. And
Yeah, they technically can't
it's just
at an
such
HR level because there's so many other vaccines you could have to get. I do have a question for all of y'all. Like, how do you feel about pregnant women or people or whatever during this? Like,
That's
should they
different.
get the
That's
vaccine?
different.
Because
That's
I've seen
different, I
people
feel.
wave
I
their
can't-
fingers at people like
Yeah.
that, and I'm like,
I would
that
tread
really is
lightly.
their choice.
Yeah, them I
Yeah,
understand.
absolutely.
That I understand them waiting to get it, as long as they take other precautions to minimize
absolutely.
things. And I think anyone who's waiting to get the vaccine because they're pregnant or trying to get pregnant are taking precautions because they're actually
Absolutely.
taking it
It's
seriously.
like your homebody. Like,
Yeah.
no one
Right,
cares
right.
what you do if you're wearing a
That's-
mask all the
that's
time. You're a homebody.
That's normal to do, though, regardless of what type of vaccination, because some vaccinations are actually, they hurt the baby. So, I mean, until
Yeah,
we
I've seen
have
people
enough-
shame
And-
women that didn't get the vaccine while they were pregnant. I was like, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's
Because you don't know the
That's
long-term
horrible.
effects
Yeah,
that that's
we-
going to have on the baby.
Yeah.
And they're definitely
you
not
have like one of those
studying that
like
as
total
quickly as
recall
they're
babies. Like
studying-
that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, no, they leave pregnant women alone, and women trying to get pregnant right now because
Right.
that goes all into it. I have a few friends, one who's pregnant who hasn't taken it, her husband has it, and another friend who's trying to get pregnant, she hasn't taken it, and he hasn't taken it also because they want to do it together, which I'm like, whatever. But that leave the pregnant and the trying to get pregnant alone, I feel like. But everybody else,
No excuses.
I have no sympathy for these fucking people. I really, really, really don't, because it could kill any one of us who have done it right since go. And I don't know. Maybe I'm the cruel-hearted piece of shit, but
No, I don't think that. It's just I think you have to believe more in how ignorant people really can be.
Right.
oh,
It's
that's
just
that's for sure.
natural. People are
Also
stupid.
that- just
and
like that
beyond
they
that,
have
they
the
just don't
choice.
know.
Yeah, and just like that, they have the choice to not take the vaccine. We have the choice to not associate with people that decide to put us in danger and put themselves in danger that way.
Yeah.
Get closer to your
Eat
mic.
the mic.
I was trying to
Oh.
tell you that earlier doing this, but I don't
Oh,
think
because
you
I moved.
noticed.
So I was saying, just like that, people have the choice to not get the vaccine. We have the choice to not associate with people that would put us in danger or put themselves in danger.
Not
And
always.
I mean,
In most situations, most.
in
That's
most,
the problem.
yeah.
But I
in
mean,
most.
as we do like return to office for different companies and whatnot, there's going to be those people that we're just not going to know about. And even with masks on, with Delta, we don't really know how effective masks are going to be.
Yeah.
So if it's someone we personally know who is like very open about not getting it, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you, Tati. But like, there's a lot of circumstances, people who don't have who always had to go to work, and then people who are now starting to go back to work, and even just walking into the supermarket.
There are some law firms that I work with that are requiring that all new hires are vaccinated and can produce their cards.
Is that legal?
Yeah, that's not legal.
I don't know.
I mean,
A
they
law
are a
firm should
law.
know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
They'll find a
Exactly.
loophole.
they should know. I've seen COVID policies coming out, and it is requiring, as of like effective by a certain date, that all new hires.
It seems
do
like
have it.
new territory too, so they can
It
kind
is.
of probably establish that. Like the company I work for, they just won't let you go back to work in the office unless you've had the vaccine, and you have to do like little tests each day before going into the office. But like, let's say you're adamant about not getting it, you would just be a work from home employee, which is why I kind of held
That's
off.
tricky. That's tricky
getting
though.
That's very
Because
tricky.
then that's tricky because like you're being ignorant about it, and now you get the reward of working from home. So
Do you know how
can
many
everyone get that
people-
reward?
Do you know how many people?
Yeah,
I
you don't
speak
have to go back in
now?
if you don't want to.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I speak to so many people now who immediately say, I never see myself going back in the office. I want remote. I want flexible working. Like, I don't want to be in the office anymore. Some
I've
people
been preaching that
just
shit for like 5 years.
they are,
Yeah,
and
I
like
could do that for a long time.
some of the law firms aren't taking to it, and people are gonna get this hard shake where only like 25% of the law firms end up doing it, and the rest are all back in the office.
And then they got to worry about attrition because people are going to get up and go to those companies that did it. Companies that don't adapt to the new landscape are going to find themselves in a bad
absolutely.
place.
Tons
Now,
of
And
people
that's
are
exactly
leaving
what
their
we're
jobs
doing
right
every day.
now.
like a question for all of you, and you don't have to answer it. Would you support?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
you-
I believe in the 4-day work week.
Would you? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Would you
That's long
support?
overdue.
Would you support just like other vaccinations when we're born, where we can't do anything, we can't go to school, we can't do this? Would you support mandatory vaccinations from the government if this? It's already out of control, but if it gets much worse, would you support them actually just being like, we all have to
Mandatory?
get it? Yeah, mandatory.
That's
But what
a
are they
that's
gonna
a
do,
slippery that's a slippery
it is
slope.
a very
You and
slippery
stab you in the arm?
It
When you
is.
when you start authorizing control of choice for people, then when does it
There's
stop?
a line, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they do. They do already with other vaccinations, this government, and then there are a lot of countries that's like, you
Yeah.
can't come
Well,
over
like,
here without
nothing's
these
really-
shots.
Nothing's
No,
firm
but-
That's
for
your- but
long
that's
with
your
science.
priority.
Pluto's a planet, then it's not. It goes back and forth. We realize some sort of thing gives you cancer, even though it's an anti-cancer treatment.
But
Like, I don't think you can force it on
But-
people, but you can just let the people who don't do it die. And then, of
Or
course,
no,
other
you
people
just do
who are
this-
innocent will die,
You
but
do the
it'll
same
die
thing that's
off.
happening now. Like,
but they
if
get
you're a
lung
child
transplants.
if you're a child that's not
Some of them,
vaccinated,
yeah.
you can't go to school in most cases. So that means as a parent that has a child that you don't want to vaccinate, you have a choice to homeschool.
To homeschool them,
There's-
right?
yeah, there's a
still
lot of ways of-
Well, do you have the choice? Or are you mandated to homeschool? Like, do you just make it a reward system?
Homeschool
Well,
them and
you
let
need
them
to
marry their
understand that it's
cousins
the
and brothers.
No,
and
you can go to
they should
you can
read
go
to
to a
death.
you can go to like a religious school. I mean, I
I
don't
would
necessarily
say-
know whether or not that they care about vaccinations as much as a public school, or private charters that maybe not, they don't take it as seriously as public schools take it. I wouldn't
I
know
don't
because
know.
I've
I don't
only
know.
been to
I would
public schools.
say that if you intend to not vaccinate your child, you understand the consequences that come with that, which means the possibility of homeschooling them or finding an alternative resource that will teach your kid. Like, I feel like
also,
as
the
a
child
parent,
could,
you're
like,
making
not
this decision
exist
and you
long.
know.
I never had a baby, but is there some point where it's like negligent if
Tell
you
the
don't
truth.
get the vaccination?
Certain ones.
Sometimes.
Is it like
Slow.
considered negligent if they didn't have the vaccination?
That's a slippery slope as well.
It's
Because
still an
as a
opinion thing where
parent,
we can't say
you're
for
allowed
sure.
to decide.
I
Okay,
mean-
okay, because I just
They
didn't
do
know
have
if
the
there
right
is
to
ever
decide.
a point that it's legally considered negligent if the parent decides not to.
Because a lot of parents believe in there's some parents who believe in all natural stuff and
Yep.
holistic whatever.
I know, like suck on my
Yeah,
big toe,
stuff.
you'll get better.
It may be looked down upon, and
That's
there
more
could
daddy,
be
not mommy,
repercussions.
but sure.
There could be repercussions as a result, like if you infect another person's child because you don't vaccinate your child.
But it's hard to.
Yeah, it's
To pinpoint
again,
who
it's
did it.
a
Trace
it's
that.
a gray area.
Yeah, I get
Right.
that. I don't know. I mean, at some point,
Slippery
the government
slopes.
had to mandate it to after the Spanish flu. They had to do it because a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't want to get the shot," and they were like, "We're never going to get past this if you don't do it. Do it." Jobs and certain regional governments mandated it, and it went away.
Well, that's what's coming around the corner at this point with the
Right.
second
I
strain.
don't think it will. I don't think they'll ever get to that point.
Yeah, I'm a little
So,
worried because they've, the government kind of fucked up a couple times
Oh,
with those
a couple.
kind of things.
It'll get to that point when they, just like we see a lot of Republicans kind of switching their stance. We saw the Alabama governor coming out and saying, go get vaccinated because it's starting to affect the bottom line. Well, not
Yep.
starting to, but they're
It
seeing
has
the
already.
effects. Right, that's what I'm saying. It's affecting the bottom line, and at some point they're gonna want to stop losing this money. So
Is that the
It's-
well, it's
politician that also
voters.
said that they were ready to blame like the unvaccinated people? Because I read that's the one.
I
where
think it
she
might
was-
be her.
I
I
don't
think it
know.
might
Yeah,
be
where
her.
she
Maybe.
was like saying that like it's time to start blaming the people that aren't
Yes,
choosing not to
that
get
was her. Yeah,
vaccinated
that was her.
I mean, she's not wrong at that point, but she's also doing it. And they're all doing it
to
because
save their butts.
the place was getting hit the hardest are the states that have the least amount of vaccination percentages, and that's Alabama, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas,
Florida.
Missouri,
All the
Florida,
places you want to live.
Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, and so forth.
At this
And
point, they said Florida is the most vulnerable one.
yeah, it is, and but
Florida's
that's
always the most vulnerable.
that's
It
that's
has the
the
lowest rate of vaccinations.
and that's
yeah,
the
the lowest
and
rate of
that's
intelligence.
yeah,
Is
And
it
that-
because of all that sun that they get?
but that's
Love
their
you,
base.
Florida.
Lack
But-
of humidity.
I'm not going to defend the
Lack of
state, but
humidity.
I'm just going to say they might not all be that bad.
No, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah?
it's not
Why?
all a political thing because I mean, as
I'm not
a
biased,
black
I'm just
person,
saying.
I'll say
Not-
this:
not
like
That's true.
biased by any means.
black people are really reluctant to get it too. So
And Native Americans as well,
right? It's
because
you
of
know,
centuries of mistreatment
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Tuskegee Airmen. Not just Tuskegee, but
Tuskegee
so
Airmen.
far
I was like, not
smallpox
Tuskegee
and
Airmen.
I know Tuskegee, smallpox and blankets, centuries worth of being forcibly how George H.W. Bush, when he was head of the CIA, sanctioned radiation to be dumped in and around reservations just to study the long-term effects of exposure and resulting in whole populations developing cancer and so forth. So there's a long history, and unfortunately, while more understandable than just the average idiot who's believing QAnon, way more understandable than those assholes, it's affecting marginalized communities in a way where it's like, I understand where that's coming from, but at some point, please listen to a lot of the leaders of your community who are like, this is not that. This one time, this isn't that.
This isn't that right?
So are we
and please,
closing
please,
stuff
this is not
back up
Tuskegee black
again
people.
or doing stuff like that? Is there any like retracting of the opening up, or are we just like, fuck it?
I've seen some stuff on the West Coast take a little bit more precaution, but I don't think I've seen as much
Well,
here.
De
It's
Blasio
because it
said
hasn't
he's
really
going
hit us as
to.
hard yet.
Yes. And De Blasio said he's probably going to put back in indoor mask mandates and whatnot, something along those lines. But I
Can
think
they
because
wait until after my birthday?
no,
I am
And,
actually, I'm in this weird place where I don't know whether to wear them or not because I'm seeing.
I wear them on
wear
the
it.
train.
I still wear them inside stores, even though I see people not wearing them because
Yeah,
I'm not
me
sure
too.
what I'm supposed to do yet. And I just
I
feel
like
like
finally
Actually, I
stopped for a
keep
little bit and
mine-
I'm right back.
I keep mine on my wrist so that when I go into a store, if I see a lot of people wearing them, I'll put it back on.
Mhm.
That way, at least you kind of still have it handy.
I go by the sign on front of the door.
Yeah,
and my
that
mood
too.
That day.
I
and how
had
big my sunglasses are.
I had it
It's
off.
cute. It says I don't have to.
I had it off for a little while, but now it's back on full time in stores. Except it's like
Yeah.
if no one's around for like 20 feet, I'm like, and I'm putting it back on.
that's the only thing that I notice is that because I'm no longer wearing it outside, I cannot breathe.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
start
used to it
actually
anymore.
Really
Physically
hot.
sweat because
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
breathing with the mask.
Yeah.
At
So
some point,
uncomfortable.
I was very happy that things started opening up because we started doing softball with the masks on,
That's
and I
hard.
was just like, no,
No.
like fuck that.
That's hard.
Now you
But
could do
hardly talk to
20
you with a
without
mask
it, and then now you can only do like 4 games with a mask on.
Exactly that. My Saturdays literally are now 2 in the morning, and then whatever games are in between, they'll be like, "Hey, do you want to play? Hey, we need a girl."
You make
Yeah,
me feel
they
like
always
You're
need a
just
good girl.
sitting there, so
They
why
always
not?
need a good girl. There's always a need of a good girl in softball.
You make me feel like I need a stretch or something because I do not do that on Saturdays.
Yeah, I'm like, I probably walk 300 steps a day
Boom.
to the kitchen.
Just-
back.
But I will say real quick, digressing back to the Republicans endorsing it, it does a lot of it come down to the Bible Belt and their base. They don't want them
They
to
were gonna
die
say the
because they.
Bible?
Oh no, the Bible Belt. They don't want their electorate to die before the midterms and before Trump, who's apparently gearing up for a 2024 run, because he's making himself more visible now.
Doesn't
But-
wait, I thought that they were making fun of him because it was like.
No, he so far there. I mean, this is on the agenda, but real quick, I'll keep it quick. Like a
I
big.
know that. I know it's on the agenda.
I said not. I said not. But okay.
I was looking at it, I was like, where is it?
Me too. I was like,
Not Tati, not. but
I need you to get a little bit closer. I need the microphone to like be in your mouth like Tati does.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
like
In your mouth
yeah,
more.
exactly that.
So
You gotta,
anyway,
like rest
Yeah,
your
get
nose on
good
top of
diction.
the muff. It's like
Ooh.
okay.
I don't know.
So
If there was...
speak. I mean, I love the muff, so it's all good. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't. No, actually,
She said.
I'd rather it be like that, bare. So in any
Oh,
case,
What is this noise?
I digress.
Can we?
I
No.
think I went into the wrong room.
If this is the wrong chat, we need to leave now.
No more muff. Anyway, they did a poll with likely GOP voters, and 54% said that they preferred Donald Trump for their 2024 candidate. 31%, I think, said Pence, and then it went down from there with like DeSantis and so on and so
I
forth.
can't believe that.
They have,
So they're
like,
still
no
the
one
party of
else to,
Trump.
like, they have no one else to depend on.
Well,
that they're
they
like,
have 3
even
more
31%.
years.
Well, 31% said they would vote for Pence after saying they needed to hang him. So
No, that was the other 69%. Oh, I did math.